I now call the Lee County Board of Education regular board meeting for August 13, 2019 in order. At this time, I will call for a moment of silence. Amen. At this time, if you will stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to our country.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. At this time, we'll move to our public comment section of our meeting. And our first public comment is Mr. Jim Womack.
Thank you. My name is Jim Womack. I live at 1615 Boone Trail Road here in Sanford. Last month we heard the auditor's report discovered the school superintendent had been breaking the law through his contracting practices with a Raleigh-based law firm. We also heard how badly our school's finances were being managed for the second straight year. We discovered that over a year ago, we were nearly flat broke, actually reporting a negative fund balance. Financial mismanagement at central office is taking a toll on our school system. The auditor is not qualified, as in his own words, to comment on how low fund balances and unauthorized transfers might be impacting our schools, but we all know intuitively that there will be a degradation resulting from these deficiencies. The taxpayers of this county are compelled to provide you around $20 million every year in local school funding. This is on top of the $60 million you are getting from the state and federal resources. When these tax dollars are not being wisely managed, our children and teachers suffer the consequences. I believe you owe the taxpayers of this community responsible communications about specific remediation and procedural changes you are implementing to prevent a recurrence of these same problems for this year and beyond. And I think you owe us a preliminary estimate of just how badly our audit results will be for the year that just ended in June. The auditor did not comment on that at all last month. As a taxpayer and citizen of this county, I expect more from our public schools. I look forward to hearing your plans to improve at every school board meeting now through next year. Thank you.
Next up, Ms. Lisa Reagan.
Hi, my name's Lisa Reagan. I live at 2624 Landler Drive in Sanford. I'm here tonight to express my continuing disappointment with the Board of Education in overseeing and disciplining the work of the superintendent in central office. After hearing disturbing revelations from the auditor last month, the board has yet to disclose anything it is doing to put fiscal controls in place to protect our school's finances. There's been no discussion of what impacts this financial mismanagement has had on our school programs and performance grades, and we expect to see new grade reports next month. I pray no one on this board is planning to extend or renew any contracts for central office staff until after we see just how well or poorly our schools are doing on ACTs, ACT work keys, end of grade testing, and end of course testing. Any such actions before we see performance results would be unprofessional and unethical. There are some pictures along the hallway out here that this school is showing to the children of this school. Let me remind you what they said. It says, character is much easier kept than recovered. Character is the sum of total of a person's choices. When all is said and done, the one thing you have left is your character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny. Watch your thoughts, they become your words become your actions become your habits, and your habits become your character. I want to submit to you, this does not only go to the kids who go to this school, but to each and every one of you. I've been watching your character, and I pray for you that it turns to do the best things for the students in this county and the taxpayers in this county. Thank you.
At this time, this concludes our public comments, and for our vision statement, Board Member Sutton.
Lee County Schools, in partnership with the community, will provide challenging learning experiences for students in a safe and supportive environment. We are committed to academic excellence, technological innovations, social responsibility, and lifelong learning. Our success will be demonstrated by the achievement of our students and their positive participation in society.
Thank you. And to our Code of Ethics for School Board.
Mr. Chairman, the Code of Ethics for school board members is as follows. The board recognizes that collectively and individually, all members of the board must adhere to an accepted code of ethics in order to improve public education. Members of the Lee County Board of Education should avoid conflicts of interest and appearance of conflicts of interest as we handle the work of the board. We must avoid the solicitation and or acceptance of gifts in return for advice or assistance on matters concerning the operation of the business of the board. We must avoid the misuse of public funds. We must avoid misrepresentation of falsification of facts, and avoid making confidential information public.
Thank you. Move along to our agenda. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the agenda as presented for August 13th, 2019.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor of the agenda as presented, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
All the opposed, like sign. Our agenda is approved. Moving right along to our approval of our minutes from our regular board meeting on 7/16 and our call board meeting on 7/30. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to approve our meetings from 7/16/2019 and our called board meeting 7/30/2019.
Is there a second?
I second.
There's been a motion and a second. All for approval of our minutes as presented, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, our minutes are approved as presented. Moving right along to my chairman's report, I have two non-action items here I need to kind of first. We have a letter from the Sanford Area Growth Alliance that basically encourages us to make sure we buy local, which is something I feel like that our school system does within our policy when it's presented. So we always want to keep our business local. And then the second letter I have is a letter to the board stating that it's an honor and privilege to serve on the Community College Board of Trustees and that Ms. Jen Hayes is grateful again for this opportunity. So for my chairman's report, I'd like to say it's great to have our Lee Early College and Tramway already back in school. Our traditional calendar will obviously start in the coming weeks. Today was our first optional work day of our staff. And I know that I saw several parking lots across the county full, and I'm grateful for all of our staff and our volunteers and our teachers for what they do. From our janitorials to our SROs to our teachers to principals and central office, I'm personally grateful for what you do. I'm also want to wish our students who recently graduated the best of luck at the military or the jobs that they've started, or for them moving into college recently, which brings me to the point why we're missing two board members tonight. Both board members are helping prepare their families for college. They're moving them in, one as far out as Montana, and I know Christine's got a son, I believe, is going to Tennessee. So they're busy taking care of family and working with their children as they start college. Other than that, W. Wicker is moving right along. We're moving dirt. We're putting sod down, and things are moving at a wonderful pace. At this time, that concludes my report, and I will turn it over to Dr. Andy Bryan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Accountability report within hopefully beginning of September, begin all of our data information, test scores, growth, etc., so we can determine performance grades for our schools. As I noted before in previous meetings, our math scores, cut scores changed a little bit this year, so we'll be seeing how that impacts things. And otherwise be looking in September for accountability to come back for performance grades. And just to echo what the chairman said, looking forward to beginning of school. Tramway and Lee Early College have gotten off to a great start, and we have getting ready to let everything roll for traditional calendar here in just under 2 weeks. So we're very excited about that, and I understand there are lots of excited students and teachers that are looking forward to everything getting going. So we're excited.
Thank you, sir. Moving along to our committee reports. Our curriculum and instruction, Dr. Stephen Coble.
Mr. Chairman, we had no meeting of the CNI group in August. The next scheduled meeting is on the 25th of September at Southern Lee High School. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. For facilities and technology, Dr. Lynn Smith.
Mr. Chairman, the F&T committee has not met since our meeting on July the 16th. The next meeting will be on Tuesday, August 27th at 4 o'clock.
Thank you, sir. For finance, Dr. Lynn Smith.
Neither has the Finance Committee met since July the 16th. Our next meeting is Tuesday, August 27th at 5 p.m. But I would remind the board that our monthly July financial statement is in your FYI material for your perusal. And as I said, we'll meet again on Tuesday, the 27th of August.
All right. Policy Committee, Sherry Womack.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We did not have a policy meeting in August for the same reason, the board member preparing for his child to go to college as well. Our next meeting is scheduled for September the 19th, but I'd like to take this moment just to say that I'm just as excited that all the children are returning to school. But today was a little bit of a sad day for those that are in the process of assisting with the Backpack for Children. The children are so excited and tickled to death to be going to school. But when you with these children twice a week and you feed them and you get in that community, I would just like to challenge anyone that wants to see how these children live and how they're excited to be productive in school is to sit down at a picnic table and eat with them and do things like that as well. They feed about 325 people a week. Other than that, I have no other comment.
We are grateful for our partners throughout the community, whether it's the UOC or community college or any of our partners. We have many different partners that take to it takes a whole village to raise one child, and as we know. So moving on to our consent agenda. Do I hear an approval for our consent agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I make the motion that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of approval of our consent agenda as presented, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All they opposed, like sign. All right, we have no unfinished business, and this time no new business. So I will ask for a motion to go into closed session.
Mr. Chair, I move that the Lee County Board of Education go into closed session for the purpose of discussing information that is privileged, confidential, and not a public record under NCGS Section 143-318-2.
2 or 1?
That says 2 on mine.
Okay. All right. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of moving to closed session, so we're saying aye?
Aye.
We stand in closed session. Thank you. I now call the Lee County Board of Education back into open session. At this time, moving to new business for personnel.
Mr. Chair, I move that the Lee County Board of Education approve the Human Resources Report.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor of approving the Human Resource Report as presented, so we're saying aye?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Moving right along, do we have any other motions for our new business personnel?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the one-year contracts as presented.
Is there a second?
I second that.
All in favor of approving one-year teacher contracts, signify by saying aye?
Aye.
Aye. At this time, that concludes our new business. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of the Lee County Board of Education adjourning, signify by saying aye?
Aye.
Aye. We stand adjourned. Thank you for coming tonight.